Hello, everyone. This is BigAlski,
And this is JTB.
and this is Chapter 14 of Ballbade's Master Ninja Karma Run, and we are almost done here.
We can call this the Descent into Madness, although you could call that Chapter 1 for all intents and purposes. Now, this fight right here, God, this is awful. You can actually use the Incendiary Shuriken trick on him and get more points out of it, but it's very, very inconsistent. It's complete pot luck whether he behaves. So I think Balbade just goes for the ET method here. And I think it was Fat Man that originally showed this, wasn't it? He showed it in the mission. He showed it in mission mode.
Yeah, I think he did.
I think it was. I don't know if anyone watching will remember Fat Man, but he was an amazing player from back in the day. And yeah, he showed this, like the spacing with the UF Ryu. It's pretty tricky. Like there isn't exact timing for it, but he can always misbehave and not do what he's supposed to do. But you want to block that string right there, and then jump like as he starts that next one. Then all being well, he'll just do that 2-hit string, and then you can charge your ET and release it. It's very, very strict timing. Like this is something that you will have to practice a lot to get it down. And like that's the even more frustrating way of doing it with the incendiaries, because you have a lot of time for this fight, and like that really runs down the bulk of the time limit to try and get those incendiary shuriken UTs. But you can get probably an extra like 10-15,000 out of that if you use that method, but it's not worth the hairs you'll pull out of your head trying to do it. So I don't blame him for not going with that one.
I look at it like this. On all these fights, there might be a better way or more successful way, but if Ballbade doesn't try it or think it's worth it, then it's probably extremely, extremely tough.
It is. And I mean, at this point in the game, I mean, like, this is where like it kind of gets rough. Like, if you get to the point in the game, like, I mean, at this point, like, he's already like way ahead, so like he knows he's gonna have that #1 spot. And it was kind of the same thing when I was doing my run. Like, I was already ahead by so much. Like the really like down to the wire strategies, you try them a certain amount of times and you just get to a point where you think, just screw it. Like, I'll just go for I'll go for the consistent one, because the guy after me is going to have to do the annoying shit. And it's the same for this. The guy that goes after this score, if anybody ever does, like, he's going to have to do ridiculous stuff just to beat this score. Like, I'm pretty safe to say, like, I don't think there's an extra like 200,000 points on this score when all things said and done. So
the going back to the clone fight real quick. So he let's see, what I'm trying to figure out how to word it the best. So he didn't want to try that 5,000 trick point. I mean, is that what you're saying?
I mean, I don't know if he would. I don't know if he's tried it. I mean, it's definitely more points. When I went back and redid it a couple of times, and I think I got 70 plus in game. Like, because if you do nothing but ETs, you get 28 ETs, which would be 56,000 in game. That's how much that'll get you. If you do the UT trick and still manage to do the ETs after it, you can get way above 70. I had a run, I think I got 76,000 in game. But it's a hell of a lot to go through just to get an extra 20,000 points. And that fight is annoying enough already. Like, it's,
right.
That ET method, like, it looks easy, but it's really not. Like, your timing has to be on point every single time. And, like, that's just not something that's easy to do under pressure like that.
And where's he dragging that essence from?
That'll be, I think that's from the fish. I know, like, for this encounter, you can't drag, but the time limit won't start, so you can just, like, no-look charge. But from this point, it'll be, from the first fight, like, the first ghost fish fight, sorry, that'll be where he drags it from for the other fights.
Now, what's the key to not getting bit right here?
This is where you just have to really manipulate the invulnerability frames of the UT. You can see him do it there really, really well. That's a really good example of it. You actually have complete invulnerability until Ryu places the weapon back onto his back. However, if you actually press a button, you'll actually cancel those invulnerability frames. So you really have to be very, very careful with when you press Y to try and go for your next UT. Otherwise, you'll just get bit out of it by the fish, and you'll lose your UT chain.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I got bitten out of this stuff.
These fights are horrible. Like, these ghost fish fights are really awkward to farm. because they're not like, they don't have the same spawns as they do. Like the ghost fish fights up until this point are fairly straightforward. Like you get that wave of 6 fish and then you just get 2 UTs per every wave. But on this one, like, as you can see here, like you can really use the environment to just kill 2 or 3 at a time and really get like 2 or 3 UTs out of one wave of fish. So it's definitely better.
Of course, my phone's ringing, but hopefully that won't come out too good.
But like, I mean, it's definitely better this way. But like with everything, the way that gets you the most points is also going to be the way that's the most frustrating. So all depends on how dedicated you are at this point in the game.
Okay, I tried to turn the mic off there for a little bit. So obviously it's better to get more UTs than make the time limit.
Yeah, you can do a mixture of both, but it works out pretty much the same. It's one of those things, like you can do it either way for that fight, so.
Man, I just don't miss this, and I haven't done it for so long. Yeah. It's amazing, though.
I mean,
it was fun, though. The first time, just getting through all this.
Yeah, the first time, like the discovery and stuff, and it's fun to see it. Like I really got to give Balbade credit here for recording this stuff. Doing this stuff is one thing. Getting it on video is something else. It's a lot of dedication to get all this stuff on video for the entire run. It's a huge amount of dedication.
And then, like I said, getting us together to where we can make the video or make the commentary, and then putting it all together, then uploading it, and it's a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, it really is. Common running is always better to watch than actually do it. This strategy is actually really interesting. I really like this. He goes for the X hold down Y move, and that will actually knock him out of the talisman there, so he can actually get that guaranteed UT on Doku. That's really smart, because one of the downsides of the low health UF UT is it absolutely destroys Spirit Doku. One UF UT I think takes around 90% of his health. So, swapping over like this and using his talisman to use the Gleaming Blade is a really, really clever use of the weapon there.
I love that on-landing Gleaming Blade, or rolling into it.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, the time limit here is 25 minutes, 187 kills. The trouble with this, after finishing this, is doing the next fight like you wanted. So, He just barely made the time limit. But we'll see you in Chapter 15, guys.
See you later.